this is a quick video that talks about how to assign a module socket. You will first come across this term most likely when you were in prime hands learning about mastery levels and how to gain XP for mastery levels. One of the things that they say in the prime hands tutorial thing is that you gain more XP if you don't have a module socket assigned. So you probably were like, well, what's assigned a module socket? Anyway, this is what it is. The game won't let you really in here until Mastery Rank 7 and Descendant level 40, but the odds are you will be Mastery Rank 12 before you can do this. Before I can do this. I had to be Mastery Rank 12. When you become Mastery Rank 12, the game will give you a quest called Something Can Be Improved. And the Descendant instructor will give you the ingredients to craft a crystallization catalyst. And what that does is it allows you to assign a mod slot to a specific type of module. But first, we have to craft it. Now, I've already crafted it, I just haven't collected it yet. So we're going to do that, and then we'll go over how to craft a second one now that you can get to everything. Okay, sorry for the bongo noise.
Magisters are probably humanity's real hope.
So here's the one that I crafted already. Now, normally you can't craft it until you've been farther in the game because the advanced neural circuits aren't available until White Knight Gulch. So it's definitely much later in the game. Ag in the Desert, Echo Swamp, and Sterile Land. So pretty much once you get to White Knight Gulch, it's at that point that you'll actually be able to craft them sort of on your own. However, the pattern for crafting crystallization catalyst blueprints are really only available. Let me get back into inventory so we can get rid of the bongo noise. So in the description is a link to a Google workbook, and one of the sheets in the Google workbook is all of the amorphous material patterns. And if you go in there, you'll see that the Crystallization Catalyst Blueprint, which is what you need to get shaped, is available a lot. It's like available on 1, 3, 4, 7, 9, 11, all of those Morpheus shapes. There's a ton that have it. The trouble is that it's only a 15% chance of getting it, of shaping it when you shape it either with a Void Colossus or a Void Fusion Reactor. So you have to sort of decide what it is that you want to farm, because you will have to farm for this if you want more than the one that the game just gives you, if you want more than one. So I'm going to include what I do to farm these, what I've been trying to do anyway, because I feel like it's the fastest, but there's probably a dozen different ways to do it. It just depends on how much effort you want to put into it. So the pattern that I like to farm is Amorphous Material Pattern 003, and I'll put this all in the description as well. You can get that as a drop from Kingston Grand Square, Slumber Valley. So there's Amorphous Pattern 3. And at this point in your playing, you should be able to do this on private, and it'll take like less than 10 minutes. Even faster if you're bunny. So you can get, a ton of Morpheus Pattern 003s if you've got the time and if that's something that you want to invest in. And then you can use that with the Gravewalker. So when you come back to Albion, then you can go over to Seneca and just do the Gravewalker over and over and over and over again, because he will shape Amorphous Material Pattern 003. And unfortunately, like I said, there's only a 15% chance to get the Crystallization Catalyst Blueprint, but it's the best that I'm aware of is the 15%. So anyway, I'll put all of that farming stuff in the description because I know it can be a little confusing. I'm confusing even saying it. Okay, so back into the mods. Okay, so now that we're in here, let's make some space. The benefit to assigning a module slot, these two already come by default, the game already gives you these, is that it gives a mod of the same type a sort of 50% pay cut. So see where this capacity cost is 15? If I assign this Cerulean mod to a Cerulean slot, it's going to cost about 50% of that. For odd numbers, they round up to the next even. So this is now worth 8. So Rutile is going to be a 3. Now, the downside to down the road, if you start like assigning stuff, you know, you really go for it and you get a few of these assigned, is if you put a non-Rutile mod in a Rutile slot, now it's going to cost you more, not less. So just keep that in mind. It's just like, remember that. No, I won't save. Okay, so now that we're in here, so now you're like, well, how do I know which mod I want as another slot? Well, back here, one thing that you can do is you can subset per type and see what each category sort of seems to represent. So I'm Viesa, so be sure to pick something that's like relative to whoever you're doing this with. So I have a lot of chill mods for her on Cerulean, or you can check Malachite or whatever. Now what I'm going to do, and this is what works for me, it might not work for you, is I am going to go with Cerulean, and I am because this is where a lot of my upgraded ones are. Like this is Cerulean, this is Cerulean, this is Cerulean, this is Cerulean. So a lot of my 2-digit costs are in Cerulean because that's what works with Viesa. So I'm going to choose a Cerulean slot. You might choose a different one. It's up to you. So I'm going to choose Cerulean slot. And it doesn't matter, I don't think. You just put it there. Put it wherever you want. So now I have a secondary Cerulean slot. And so now I can put that. Oh yeah, let me take that out. So that's worth 8 now. And I only have like 9 left. Oh, I already have that one. There we go. So now I have quite a bit of savings that will allow me to ultimately equip more mods than you were able to do before, especially the ones that you've been upgrading through Cillian. So at any rate, that is how to assign a module socket and pretty much what level you'll be at when it happens, and enjoy.